The other day while playing pickup basketball, I was talking with one of the better college kids about the steps or the timing or your technique that you need to be able to dunk. Now, I know it's probably kind of weird considering my diminutive size. I'm barely 6 feet tall, and my advanced age and the things that prevent me from dunking hardly ever these days. But back in the day, I used to be better at barely dunking. And as I was explaining that the limiting factor for how high I can jump and how frequently I can do it is my shitty hips, he said, "Wait, what's wrong with your hips?" And I said, "I have arthritis." And he said, "Oh, have you always had arthritis?" And I said, "No, ever since doing cancer treatment." And he was like, "Wait, cancer treatment? Do you have cancer?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Right now?" I was like, "Yeah, I thought you knew this. I mean, we've played ball together for a few years at a minimum now." And he said, "Damn, I would have never guessed. You have all your hair." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, cancer isn't just the gaunt people on hospital beds that are bald and on a respirator. Cancer affects a lot of people." And he's like, "Damn, man, you should feel proud that you're out here running around with us." And again, I paused and I was like, that's actually a good way of putting it. I hadn't thought about pride in what I'm doing in a long time because cancer has a way of messing with your self-esteem. And the other thing that he said that I took note of, he was like, "Man, if I had the hair that you had still," which he doesn't have a lot of hair, that's just genetics at play. My hair's not going away because genetics at play. He was like, "I would never cut that shit." And once again, it gave me reason to think about things, this time a little bit after the fact. You know, I said my hair is going to be around for a while as I clearly have a ton of it and I can grow it at will right now. But I mean, one, I'm not getting any younger. I'm about to be 37 in a couple weeks. Two, I'm going to probably continue to do cancer treatment in my life if I had to guess. I'd love to be optimistic and say that the PD-1 blockers I'm doing right now are going to kill my stage 4 melanoma for good. But the chances are I'm probably going to have to try some other therapies down the line. And the next thing is probably tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes, which involves chemo, which means I might not have the same hair sometime down the road. So I decided to grow it out, which I have not done in a long time. I really used to take pride in how well I could just shape my hair and my facial hair into fun looks like this one, where I'm some cross between Pablo Escobar and Freddie Mercury and Wario or something like that. But either way, it explains the look if you had any questions. I digress. There was another conversation that drew my brain to the topic of pride in being a cancer patient, and that was with a researcher from Cedars-Sinai. I meet with him once every 3 months to go over my case because I have such an advanced case and a kind of unique one in the sense that I've had very good prognostic response to treatment and then 2 unexpected recurrences. I got a lot of professional eyes on my case. So I get to meet with this researcher from Cedars-Sinai, and I drew up a list of questions that I wanted to ask him about my case, how he felt it was going. And at the end of it, I said, "Hey, like, should I be doing anything different? How do you think I'm doing? From where you sit, like, what does my case look like to me?" And he said, "Relax. You're doing fine. The treatment's working like it's supposed to. You're doing as well as you can given the circumstances. Let's make sure you get through these next 9 months and then you can plan out the rest of your life." Which, one, that's a pretty encouraging statement, and two, it again gave me a moment to sit and think about, like, what does this really mean, the rest of my life? Plan it all out. Actually, I'm going to pause for a second. I said the word plan as I was holding this Manta planner. It's a product by Manta Cares, which is a company that I work with, but this isn't like a paid advertisement. I'm not shilling for them at all. Actually, I just wanted to shout out how cool they were. Manta Cares is an advocacy company. It's made by cancer patients. It's for cancer patients. And basically, the goal is to get resources to patients when they need them. For example, this planner. So if I open it up, you can see all my questions in here. And then if I flip to a blank page, it has, like symptoms and medication, nutrition trackers, and notes about appointments. And when I was first diagnosed 7 years ago, I wrote in a journal. I just had a spiral bound journal that I brought to a doctor's office, and then eventually I switched to notes on my phone. But they have basically a lot of product lines for right now. It's breast cancer and lung cancer patients, but they're expanding to all types of cancer, and it's a really good online resource. It's great people. I can vouch for them. I met these people via my own cancer advocacy on Twitter, and we've developed a bond that I want to share this stuff because I think if you're a cancer patient and you need to find support in a platform from people that get it, Manta Cares is that. So again, not a paid promotion. This is just me taking time to say thanks to Manta Cares. Go check them out. I'll put the link in my description below. Definitely proud of Manta Cares, but anyway, let's get back to the topic of being proud of being a cancer patient, or more specifically, pride in how I've handled being a cancer patient, because no one is trying to be a patient, therefore I'm not proud of the status of being a cancer patient. I don't choose that. And it's not even about pride in surviving almost 7 years as an advanced cancer patient. That is something that I only have so much control over. Sure, I think I do the right things, and I'm helping my body accept the treatment that seems to be working, but there are plenty of people who have done all the right things and treatment hasn't worked. But the pride that I feel is more in my approach to the humanistic side of things, and my approach to the mental health side of things, and my approach to treating cancer like it's a full-time job when I need to. Because like I said earlier, cancer has a real fun way of messing with your self-esteem and ultimately your identity. I'm going to turn 37 in a few weeks, and I have been dealing with cancer one way or another, whether it's in active treatment or remission or dealing with a recurrence or in remission. I've been dealing with cancer nearly every single day of my 30s, and ultimately that doesn't leave a lot of room for other things. And in spite of that, I've managed to do a lot of other things. I've managed to retain my hobbies and my passions, which are very important to me. I still play basketball as much as possible. I still play music as much as possible. I write a lot. I have this big social circle that I love. And, I've sold businesses and started businesses and taken on new work opportunities. I've bought a house. I've gone through a lot of different relationships, which that sounds bad. And in some cases, it was really stressful. But ultimately, it has led me to finding one that I am very proud of. I love the woman I'm with, and I intend to see that through. There are a lot of things that I've done that, they would be good in real life, but when I add it to the fact that I've spent so much of my time and bandwidth on just being a cancer patient, it makes them all the more meaningful to me. But really, as it relates to being a cancer patient, I'm most proud of just sitting here and talking to this camera and talking to you as an audience and relating my experience for a number of reasons. One, it represents the connection that I've made with the greater cancer community, both as an advocate. I'd like to think that things that I say happen to help people, even if it's just by comparison, even if people can look at what I'm saying or hear what I'm saying and say, okay, this is happening to me, I'm in a similar situation, and these feelings mimic mine, whatever. People have a lot of ways of connecting via shared experience. And in that sense, I'm also proud that because of the amount of people that I've talked to and the amount of work that I've put into maintaining my mental health and strengthening my emotional health and my responses to all these debilitating things that cancer brings up, I am able to be proud of myself, which it's not easy, man. There are a lot of dark times when you're a cancer patient, no matter what stage, how long you've had it, what percentage of days. Cancer can bring out the acute worst days in a singular fashion, and it can drag you down in depression for an extended period of time. I've gone through a lot. I've gone through extended periods where I never thought I would experience something like this, and the fact that I'm able to now look back and say, I'm proud of who I am, I'm proud of the way I've handled this situation, because cancer distorts reality so hard. This has been 7 years of my life being irreparably fucked, but it is reality. There's nothing else I can do but deal with it, and I'm proud of how I've dealt with it. And one more time, just for emphasis good measure, I am proud of this mustache and this hair because this is quite a look. But that's enough about me. That's enough self-congratulatory bullshit. Anyone who knows me well will tell you I love me some me, and maybe that's helped, but let's talk about you. If you're going through cancer or you have a loved one who is going through cancer, whether it's in active treatment or afterwards and trying to figure out their life and their identity, because cancer, like I said, has a way of messing with your identity, messing with the entire scope of what you think life is or could be. Be proud of yourself. No one chose this. I'm not going to drag us too much into the fight verbiage, but this is really not something that anyone would ever choose, and yet a lot of us are making the best of it. In fact, everyone I've talked to is making the best of it. And without this drifting too far into the rah-rah, you got this style, because that's not how I usually go about things, I think it's important to take a minute and think about how you've gotten to where you're at and what you've gone through and what you've done in life that might make you proud or what can bring you contentment or happiness, whether you're a cancer patient or not. I think it's good to think about these things because ultimately, the version of reality that we're living in is reality. We've gotten here one way or another via our choices or things we can't control, like being a cancer patient. But sometimes just reflecting about it helps me, and maybe it'll help you. So I'm going to give you the time to do that. I'm going to give you your time back. If you're still here with me, I really do appreciate it. The fact that you made it to the end of this rambling video is always awesome. The fact that you put up with this face is awesome. I appreciate all of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.